and welcome back to LMM, and welcome to a life or a day in the life of being on a rally field.
When you go camping, you must take with you one Craig, but he does nice things like there's a cup of tea for me and he's laid the table for breakfast. We're civilised campers. Gentlemen, on your marks, get set. Go! And to start to the annual truck and trailer race.
Found it, Richard, Ranger.
Is that your key to the...
Yeah.
How do you stop your car if I have your key? You stole your car?
Yes.
Greg, I think there's a problem with the Ranger. I've just realised we squeezed this up really tight to the track in front of it, so much so that we won't move it, because they are compressed together rubber friction. In order to start this, I need to be able to get behind it.
There you go, you're going.
Well, the brakes work, how about that? Brakes kind of work. Did we remember to put the starting handle in? We did.
Yes, good.
Good.
It normally lives there.
That's the end of your tent.
And as Tom moved the truck back into its parking space, Craig prepared his tractor and got ready with the muscles to get it started.
I love that.
And with all three of our vintage machines up and running, it was time to make our way through the camping area and find the lineup. Now, this was somewhere that we weren't entirely sure where we were going, so there was a little bit of an adventure going on. But being at the back of the convoy, I didn't have to worry, because probably the guys at the front knew what they were doing. Probably. Having found the lineup of other vintage tractors and forced our way into a parking space big enough for the three of them, Tom and I decided to try and shorten each other's lifespans.
Tom used smokescreen.
I think Tom won, although I don't know whose life he shortened. We were super proud to have our tractors in this lineup amongst all of the other wonderful heritage vehicles, and realised how very scabby ours looked. And with the tractors parked up, it was time for the most important task of the day: cooking breakfast.
So here we have MasterChef, camping edition.
Have we got any cooking utensils?
No,
You got fingers, haven't you?
just thinking that we've got forks.
Yeah, knife.
That's not our frying pan.
Oh no, and the exact instructions were it doesn't matter if it doesn't come back.
Is that?
This is where the food poisoning starts.
Excuse me, I'll have an excellent check. Owie.
healthy breakfast.
Salmonella,
No.
E. coli.
Damn you, wind.
Look at that bacon. I'm not sure what else we're going to do for the rest of the day. Are we going to just cook more?
Just eat everything that we bought.
There are supplies. Look at that precision. Right, Craig's dying, so you've done a good job.
We lost track of time and had to hurry back to the tractors and Humpty, ready for the first event of the day, as we were taking them into the ring.
So this is genuinely exciting. I've never brought one of my vehicles into a ring and done the show thing.
It is good, isn't it?
It's really fun to actually have done this side of it. We had a lot of fun with the GoPro, that was good.
Yeah, the GoPro has decided to film both forwards and backwards automatically.
How did you find it?
It's actually alright. Once you get used to the controls and how everything works, it's fine.
It's a nice little tractor.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that you put the smoke screen down and I
Oh, I didn't know that yet.
Yes, just a
I thought that's revenge for following you in the comma during the last road run. Although it's about time. Smoke, have some of that.
So, the guy's coming to talk to all of us about our tractors. Do you know anything about this?
within a couple of months.
I know enough probably to get by. Enough to at least make it look like I'm slightly competent.
Years and I've done good.
I mean, I don't know anything about Humpty.
And I know how well they go.
Obviously not.
I have no idea what
goes
it is.
well.
As those of you who have been to this kind of show will know, normally somebody will come down and interview the owners about their particular tractors. And sure enough, soon it was our turn, with Craig being buzzed on the history of his machine.
You were to paint it, restore it, spoil it. And I think this is lovely something like this. I personally love it. Oh, thank you very much.
Tom doesn't know anything about the tractor.
Right, no,
Hello.
it's been a German tractor, not too many of these around in the UK, though you do see a few. Can you tell me a little bit about yours?
Yeah, so it belongs to a friend of ours who he bought it as a non-runner. It had engine problems, and the guy he bought it from said you will not get spare parts for it. You won't be able to rebuild an engine. And him being him, he's rebuilt goodness knows how many things over the years. Went, nah, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Then quickly found out he couldn't get any parts for it. So instead, he had a air-cooled 2-cylinder Lister diesel lying around, and he crowbarred that under the bonnet instead. So we believe it's probably one of the only ones like this around anywhere.
Yeah, well, I have seen a few Golders around over the years, particularly Dorset, but they're always an interesting tractor because they're very, very well equipped for the year with all the electric lighting. I know all the tractors built on the continent have had to do an MOT, so they have to have lights and indicators fitted. But it is a lovely tractor. Look at the array of gear sticks there. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for bringing it round, and it's been a joy to fit.
Thank you.
This is a dumper disguised as a tractor on the other way round. What make is this one? I don't recognise the cowling on that.
So this is a Liner Rough Rider. It was made by Liner, who make cement mixers, and then they went, you know what, we'll make dump trucks. And that's about all I know. It's a 1970s model. It's got no identification of it. I bought it out of somebody's garden for 25 quid. I went, it's knackered, it won't go. Spun it over, and it just spun back into life. There's a single-cylinder Petter diesel in there, and it just goes. It's a happy little thing.
I'm very familiar with the name Liner, as I say. They made concrete mixers for years and years, like Winger and various others. So the engine is a Petter diesel.
Petter 1-cylinder PH1.
PH, oh, I know.
Yeah,
lovely.
swing it over and off it goes. The steering box is knackered, so you're steering it like driving a ship.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's very small, actually. It's a very compact one, isn't it?
It's only a 15 CWT, I think, so it's absolutely tiny, and it's a manual tip as well, so you just pull the lever and the whole thing just falls over. There's nothing to it. It's just beautifully simple.
Right. Well, thank you very much for bringing it round.
So one of the things today, as well as looking around everything, they have what's called arena games. And we don't really know what that entails, but we're going to take part. So I go get my key, put it into the starting position, put it onto the warming system to pre-warm the engine, and then turn the key to start. First cylinder up.
It turned out that this was an obstacle course with a slalom going down the middle of the field and then a parallel park at the end. We were wholly unprepared for this, both for how to actually take on the course and also for setting up any cameras at all, as we turned up and were told to just get on with it. And it turns out that we're not very good at this. In fact, we're rather terrible.
So I'm pretty sure I'm the fastest dump truck to take past in the course. Tom, we've learned, can't park, that's an important part of this, but fastest dump truck. The only one, but the fastest.
It's not my fault I can't park. The steering on this is unbelievably stiff, and even giving it maximum beans it wouldn't go. My sunglasses played a massive factor. They fell off, landed right behind the wheel as I was reversing, and I don't fancy squashing my sunnies, so I blame them.
This was the penultimate event of the day, and once the public had gone home, I happened to chat to the crew on the Showman's engine, who informed me that they were going for a run to come up the very steep bank that led to the rally field. And they said, "Do you want to come for a run?" And obviously, I said yes. Being on a Showman's reminded me of just how awkward these fantastic machines are to drive. The visibility is absolutely awful, and whilst it is an absolutely stunning mechanical marvel, it's one of those things that I'd actually rather just see it trundle past and appreciate it than be on it, because I have never felt so useless. Being crammed in the back of a very small footplate, watching stuff going on, being like, I could do absolutely nothing to assist. I was really honoured to get onto a steam engine as it headed out on the road at a decent chat. In fact, this thing really can motor quite well. Once we'd arrived at the bottom of the hill, we entered a lay-by so I could hop off and get myself into location to film the beast as it made its ascent up the bank. I was very excited by this, and the crew built up the fire to have enough pressure to be able to make their ascent. And what a noise it made! It turned out that it wasn't just the Showmans that decided to try their luck up the bank, with a couple of the miniature engines having a bash as well.
So the show is now over, and it's day one, so it's now playtime. So we're going to go get the tractors and, of course, cabs.
Have a play.
Yeah. It's just the best thing you can do at a show like this. A second time? Or do you now just go for it? Just go for it.
I really like the Alice Chambers B, and this was the perfect time for me to have a go on it. I just needed to learn how to actually start the poxy thing first.
I don't know if you've ever done stuff like this and you've had a group of mates who can borrow each other's vehicles and go for a little trundle with. But it's some of the best fun I think I've ever had. Having friends and being able to do this kind of stuff, well, it's awesome. So after a bit of fun, we all decided it was time to change and try something different.
High range, top gear, and away we go.
The goal now had a place where you could ride as the passenger prisoner. So I'm going to try this out now. May not be the most comfortable ride ever. What a clever idea though, if you will win. And let's see.
I'm your ballast to stop us tipping over. It's got a turn of speed.
Getting faster.
Also, less smoke last couple of trips.
Oh, maybe not.
With the tractors parked back at the tents and with some of them only slightly smaller smoke thanks to the efforts of Tom, it was time to bring out the kitchen and have a well-earned cup of tea.
So which leg has been?
That's the one that's been closer to the exhaust.
Oh yeah, you can see a
Look at the
different.
lines.
Yeah, you can see a definite difference. That's disgusting.
You just sucked it out.
Oh, I failed, yeah, so.
Left-handed.
Feeling sick of pot noodle, tonight we decided to treat ourselves to some proper food and took the most suitable of all our vehicles off to the food stores. What was lovely about this show is the effort they put in for us, the exhibitors. Live music being powered by the showman's engine and the food stands open well into the evening. And not to mention for those who enjoy a tipple, the bar was open until the wee hours. And with some good food eaten, it was time to head back to the tents for a relaxing evening.
Oh, 4 and 4. 4 and 4.
Sorry, Craig, I keep forgetting.
No, that's right. It's a lot of rules to take in.
You have to take 2 cards because you dropped 2 cards.
That's right.
Stupid game.
Burn the pile.
Your turn, Tom, still.
Why?
You've got to lay a card because you burnt the pile. Right, it's invisible, so you've got to be higher than a jack, buddy.
So it's either a 2, an 8, a 10, a queen, a king.
And you've got.
Well, I've got to play that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Now, haven't you? Can't use that.
I'm not!
Oh.
Da, 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 da. All you got to do, mate, is randomly out of the.
just happen to get one of 2 cards.
Yes. Oh, no, 3. You could have a king, an ace, a 2, or a 10. What did you have out of interest? Just...
Yeah,
You jack.
you can pick it up and you put it in your.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you are an utter. Bugger.
And after an excellent evening of beating Tom, it was time for bed, ready for another full day.
Drive dump truck, absolutely useless off-road. You get it in any terrain at all, wet grass, it just goes no, because there's no weight on the front end.
With another show and tell about our fine vehicles under our belts, we went off to have a wander about the show and see what was actually there.
So part of the fun of coming to a show like this is the fact that you get to walk around to see everything, and it's not like, you know, you've turned up for a day, you've got to rush and see everything. We've got 2 days, we can see everything after hours. It's just nice to go and have a nice amble and just...
A leisurely mooch about.
It's a leisurely day of just looking at stuff like, oh look, mini steam engines. And just... It's just great. Now, if there aren't any mini steam engines of that, because I'm wearing sunglasses and it's very bright, I can't see the screen at all, so there were mini steam engines over there. I mean, I don't even know if I framed Tom up, to be honest. But we're going to go look at the stationary engines first and have a look at some of the stuff at the show. That way. Oh, that's so close to coming off.
The thing I love with these hit and miss engines is you think it's about to die and then nope, it suddenly springs back into life.
Some of these things have the most delightful noise, like this. This one is pumping Mountain Dew, apparently. I really like it when you've got them actually doing something, so I love the sound of this, and then just this glorious pump with a geared reduction wheel, so it's going one way, pump's running the other, with, I don't know what that colour is. I love the motion on these hit and miss. And go. And go. Mechanism, then sometimes it doesn't catch. I love the fact that just on top, that's your cooling up there, it's just getting warm. I think if I was going to have a vintage truck, this is the kind of thing that I'd like to have. Something with the beautiful curves on it that's just, it's got all the looks of a classic, but this would be actually useful because I put stuff on the back. So I could put and car on the back or and tractor and then travel at presumably about 40 miles an hour to wherever I'm going to go with it. But I love the shape of this, and I know it's going to have rubbish brakes and it won't stop and it won't have any power. But I just like the idea of being able to take my stuff to a show with a suitable vintage vehicle. And that's just, it's lovely eggshell blue. It's, I imagine it's probably going to be a petrol, probably, and it'll probably do about 2 mpg. But I still want it. I love the cab of that, and the bar on the front is just glorious. That's also pretty. That's really pretty. Maybe a tad small for what I want. And the Bedford. Oh, and then a new Bedford. This just desperately needs something across the front. It needs to be sign written just to fill up that empty void where there should be a radiator or something. And I love the headlights, which are basically fog lights on the floor.
One of the highlights of the show for me is always seeing the traction engines making their way into the ring. They have such a wonderful lumbering power to them and are so spectacularly pretty, and one day I dream of owning one. And of course, we had to have an ice cream.
Yeah, they're kind of like, oh, thank you. It's not worked well.
Having recovered from temporary hearing loss, it was time to enter the arena for our second attempt at the games, and this time we had a vague idea of what we were doing, and the competition today was looking more fierce than ever.
3, 2, 1, go! Actually smack the wheels! Listen to that tuned race performance engine purr as he comes down, guys. That is what true power sounds like. He's managing to not kill my cones. He's doing better than most. Let's see if the rear steer really comes into its own. Hanging on there to get wrapped as tight as possible. You've seen some car drivers done it. come down onto the final stretch into the parking space. Excellent, and it ruined his time. My phone ready. With 35 seconds. Feels right. In 3, 2, 1, go! Off he goes. Racing for the corners. Racing through. I see he's got a camera there on the back, probably reviewing his footage for later to make sure it's online. This is the height of motorsport right here, ladies and gentlemen. Down he comes. Into the parking space. He's in 27 seconds. In 3, 2, 1, off he goes. A little bit slow on the reaction speed there. It's obviously one of the most important things for racing drivers is to train their reaction speed. Yeah, those of you in the front row, you're thinking about it now, yes, that exhaust pipe is on your side. He's wrapped the top, doing a great run so far. For what is arguably a very small space, you may want to stop your breath. In very well at 20 seconds. That was 24 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent run.
Feeling victorious, having been the fastest dump truck for the second day on the trot, we went and parked the tractors up, and were in time to seeing the cars returning from their turn inside the ring. One of the things that I always enjoy is the sheer variety of cars that come to an event like this. And then we went for another wander, and I stumbled across somebody who knew me, who invited me to drive a miniature traction engine, which I immediately broke.
Let's go and get this out, and then we can pop it back on again.
How long have you sat there?
10 seconds.
And you've already broken it?
I literally have broken the regulator after 10 seconds. Do you have any idea of the sense of panic when someone's like, oh yeah, you know what you're doing, you can take this out, no problem, no issues at all, and you sit on it being like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, I know steam engines, and literally pull the regulator off.
I feel a bit more.
That's what I wanted.
Tom had been going on the entire weekend about how much fun the little miniatures are, and having some firing and driving experience of full-size locomotives, he couldn't pass up the opportunity to have a go himself.
And we never saw Tom again.
There are several lorries and other interesting vehicles here on display, but without any doubt the coolest one is this Scammell. Now, I want a Scammell. It is one of the things that is definitely missing from my collection. I really want a larger vehicle. But this one is a tank transporter, and it is massive, and it just emanates power. And I'm like, yeah, I know it'll be slow, and I know it'll be thirsty, but it's just so cool. Look at it. That's one of the kind of those vehicles you have that you just drive down the road and everybody gets out of the way. Doesn't matter, police, emergency services, anything bigger than you. No, everyone gets out of the way of that because it's like, yep, that's got priority, we'll let that pass. It's, I think, Rolls-Royce powered. It sounds amazing, and I just... all-wheel drive. What more could you want? I guess MPG? Yeah, MPG rather than miles, well, gallons per mile. This one's going to definitely do that. So this is an Austin Champ. Now, a friend of mine had got these, and these are great because they are insulated against water, dust, electricity, and all sorts. They are very, very durable. You can just plow through all kinds of terrain completely unbothered because everything is sealed. Which means if you're trying to restore one or work on it, it's a pain in the backside because everything is sealed and locked away. So if you do a simple job on it, it involves removing many, many parts to be able to access the thing you need to get to unseal it, to do the simple job, to put it back together again. But a very, very cool, if somewhat overcomplicated vehicle. This was meant to be like the standard for the armed forces, but it was just too complicated and lost out to things like the Land Rover and the Jeep because far more simple. But it's cool. So this is a timber tractor designed to pull huge pieces of timber out, and it is massive. And I have no need for anything like this, but it just, the sheer sense of power, and just, it's so blockish. It's not designed to pull trailer or anything, it's just brute force and ignorance in truck form. It's all proudly says on it, it's a Douglas with all-wheel drive, so that's what it's meant to do, is just big tyres, grab stuff, drag it. I imagine it will be awful to drive and slow, but it'll be grunty as hell. And also next door to it, we have the machine for moving the logs themselves. And this, look at it. Just, you've got that huge arm fitted on top of the cab roof, which I've never seen done before. Normally you've got the arm like in front of it or something, but to have it on the roof, and then the grabby claws of doom to be able to pick up and manhandle stuff. That may be the coolest thing at the show. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it move, but I love anything with hydronic arms that can do stuff and grabby claws to pick up stuff. That is awesome. It also looks evil. Like if you're going to make a horror movie with a possessed vehicle, 100% it's going to be that. But that's proper cool, and I don't even know what it is, but I want that, because crunch.
It was now that time where everybody starts to pack up and leave, including the mighty Scamble, much to the annoyance of a small dog. And of course, as everything else started to disappear, we were reminded that it was time for us to pack up as well.
Race to start.
So how long to start your vehicle?
Oh, seconds. Literally seconds, thank you. You took the mick. Mine had started before you'd even plugged the battery in. Him over there though. Right, I've done my job. Home we go. You can sort this on your own, can't you?
I haven't got the energy or effort to be bothered to
Okay.
consult with you on that one. I was just going to walk past it.
Don't go too max.
And with everything loaded up, there's nothing else to do but to head on and go home. It has been a magnificent weekend. We have laughed, I think, more over this weekend than we have for the rest of the year all together. We've had a great time, got on with stuff, and it's been wonderful taking the tractors out and actually just displaying them and taking part in the rally. So I hope you've enjoyed finding out what it's like being at the rally and a day in the life of all that stuff. And with that, well, we've got a long way to go home. So a massive great thank you to the Dene Rally for inviting us along. We've had an amazing time and we will be back next year. And so if you have enjoyed this one, how about clicking somewhere over there for another one of the videos that we've done.